All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Houston Texans. The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the first carry for Le'Veon Bell, and he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13. From the gun, it's Wentz. Gets it to Benjamin. It's caught. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A very solid gain of 27.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
A gain of 32 that time.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
Hey, other side, solid.
Now a first down carry by Bell. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Wentz to throw on 2nd down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Lion.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. That's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Well, they took the shot, didn't get it, and there's definitely a difference here because they had a chance to get 7, maybe 8 if they pushed it. Instead, they'll likely settle for 3.
Yeah, opening drive, holding him to 3. Psychologically, maybe a win for the defense. And the former Rice Al Boswell puts this one through in his return to Houston. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. So a nice opening drive on the road. You get the 3 points. Part of you wonders if that might hurt them later not getting into the end zone.
Well, the good thing is, still first quarter, and they didn't come out of it with points. In a sense, they can look at it positively and say, hey, we set the pace in this one. I think that's how they'll go about it. We spent so much time talking about the physical side of the game. How about the mental side? They just gave up a field goal, but they didn't get down at all. Big-time return. They're set up to try and at least tie the game up.
Reset. Richmond.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
Richmond. Down. Blue 80.
Back to throw, Watson. And his first pass is incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made.
Back 22.
To throw on second is Watson. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, third down.
Even the greats in this game, and he certainly qualifies as one of them, they're going to have trouble if they continue to throw into double coverage.
He better be careful. Throwing into too much double coverage might have a couple of them picked off. They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5.
Blue 80.
From the gun, here's Watson. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. And he missed it. He missed it just wide of that left upright. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
On the counter, here's Bell. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz. Going right side here, and that's complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. The give is to Bell. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. On the tackle, Tyrann Mathieu.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They fake the give. Now Wentz. Blitz coming, and down he goes. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
And the Steelers on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. Working from the gun, Wentz. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward, incomplete pass. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And now out comes Houston. And they have to feel like they missed on an opportunity for points last time when they couldn't connect on that short field goal try.
And no doubt about it, because they were counting on those points. In today's NFL, let's face it, that's really a chip shot, right?
That's anything inside 40.
Yeah, they're counting on that going through the post. But we've seen it happen to teams before. Some of the best kickers in the world can miss kicks like that. Can they come back now and redeem themselves? I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Hey, black 22! Black 22!
And they'll go with a ground attack here. Had the nifty footwork, but only able to get it to his own 20. The linebacker, Ryan Shazier, there to make the tackle.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Down! Black 22!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Taken in at the 11. Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2 as they take over following the punt with a 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Wentz. Hits his target. It's Taylor Gabriel. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down.
46 down, man, 5-4. What's up?
A give to Bell. And this this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. And his throw is incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Wentz. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. That goes for a gain of 31.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
And it'll be intercepted. Zach Cunningham with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
On first down, it's Watson. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. 18 yards on each of the last 2 plays, and they're picking up big chunks now. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On first down, Watson. Oh, nearly a disaster there on the check down. But they'll get it back.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old-school defense right now. The new-school defense is what you said, taking the ball away.
The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Richmond. Black 22. Black 22.
Right back to him on first down. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Here's a carry for a former starter. This is Lamar Miller. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
Yeah, baby.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout.
Everyone's got four down. Hey, green the line. Green the line.
Throwing on third down, Watson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he gets this down to the 18, good enough for a first down. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. From the red zone now, Watson. And he slings one that's incomplete.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. And they'll run it here. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
Green the line. Green the line. Two jet.
And movement here by one of the Texans up front. In comes the flag. That false start costly. Moves him back to the 9 now, 1st and goal.
Richmond. Down. Blue 80. Richmond.
Now Watson. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Watson. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. 2 incompletions haven't moved them any closer, and likely throwing again, you'd have to think on 3rd and goal here.
Green the line.
And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And that will tie things up as we head toward halftime. That will go down as a 15-play drive, and it results in 3 points. So some disappointment?
It's funny. We had our conference before the game with the offensive coordinator, and what did he tell us? I just want every drive to end in a kick, right? An extra point, a punt, or a field goal. Well, in this case, I think it is a little bit of a disappointment because it did end in a kick, but that type of a drive should end in the end zone.
Meanwhile, on the NFL scoreboard, a game going on in Chicago. And it's the Bears who are off to the early lead. And we'll try and keep you updated on those events and others around the league as we continue through this one. They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. And And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Doesn't matter who you're rooting for in this game. The effort of the man with the football, getting away from one and trying to turn forward and get some yardage, I really liked what he did there.
Play action. Now Wentz on the move to his left. Throw left side, complete to Smith-Schuster. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Wentz now on 1st down. Eluding the pressure right. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Now Wentz. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. He hit his first. Now this from 43. And that's off the left upright, but it caroms right in. How about that? The kick is good. So if you like field goals, this is your game. 6-3, 3 field goals at the break. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. This will be taken in at the 1. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up. And we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Now a handoff looking right. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. To throw on 3rd down. Watson flushed out right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And it's taken in at the 9. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
And how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. The tackle that time by Zach Cunningham. On 2nd down, here's Wentz. And this is Gabriel on the catch. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of 2, now third down. And the Steelers on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is third down and 12. On play action, Wentz. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Here's Bell. And now running right through it. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
And they'll keep it on the ground with Bell. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 12. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12.
Here we go. Waiting. Two jet.
Now a play fake. Wentz. That is caught inside the 5. That one goes for 24 yards. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. 1st and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting. Pick a play you think they would run here and just load up for it and see what happens.
Might we see our first touchdown of the game? Here's 1st and goal. Now Bell. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. They come out here in the I. He'll get it up the middle. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal?
81.
Brown, the lone receiver, left. Here's Wentz to throw. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. As his guys are in for 6. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
They'll try and run it in with Bell. And he will get into the end zone, so the lead stretches from 9 up to 11. Boswell on now to kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 23 yards on the play.
That was a beautifully executed screen pass. They let the rushers get upfield and got the escorts in front, meaning the offensive linemen, other blockers out in front, completed the pass beautifully. So now you've got all that open space with big guys leading the way.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Now it's Watson, a bootleg. He's letting this one go for Fuller. William Jackson with a pick.
When I was in school, math was not my strong suit, but I did learn enough to know how to play cover 3. 2 corners and a safety divide up the field in thirds. On this play, the corner didn't get fooled by anything in front of him. Kept his coverage all the way down the sideline in the deep third position and makes the interception.
So after the INT, here's Wentz. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's Wentz. Escaping the pressure right. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Bernardrick McKinney in there to bury him for a loss of 11. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Instead, they go empty backfield as they'll look to throw. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Tiger!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback.
Black 22! Black 22!
Desperation time. Watson on 4th down. And no, it's incomplete. Bill O'Brien rolls the dice, but to no avail. And the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. Well, they can thank their defense for another stop, and now look at the score, where they've got the football. They're looking pretty good.
They're looking excellent, because now you're thinking to yourself, let's just take some time off the clock. Work it down. And, of course, you put another touchdown on the board, you can pretty much say bye-bye to this one.
Play calling here can be a little bit more conservative because of the lead.
A little bit more conservative. The biggest thing, everyone understands how to get the ball downfield and how to stay in bounds and make sure the clock keeps running.
Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Great 57.
This is Bell. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On play action, it's Wentz. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. Wentz now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Throwing is Wentz. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter.
Come on now. Come on now. Let's go.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. Wide open receiver complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. 23 yards on the play. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. That's complete right around the 8. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Now Bell, and this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. Wentz going to throw. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. In for the score. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is it bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. On 2nd down, here's Watson. Man open, that's Kiki QT complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Come back, come back. Tiger, Tiger, Tiger.
Now a first down throw. Watson on the right side, caught by Green. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first. Here's Watson. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's second down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Watson going deep for Hopkins. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on. 3rd down. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
Tiger. Come back.
Watson looks to throw again. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. Gain of 9 that time on the scramble. 1 yard shy of the marker, and it brings up 4th.
Tiger.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And caught right side, Green. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. From the red zone now, Watson. He's got his tight end complete. It's Green. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Texans cut into that lead.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively, though, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know.
Doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. And now the pressure gets there, and he goes down. So he couldn't get rid of the football, and that deficit stays right where it is. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And this doesn't work. The Steelers recover it. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none.
Ram. 74.
Oh, look at this. Wentz going to throw. Throw left side, complete to Smith-Schuster. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. Give him 30 yards there. Wentz now on first down. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And he will bring it out past the 20-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, They're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it, and that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Watson, pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
To throw on second is Watson. And now he'll tuck it and run. He'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's third down. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. The Texans on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and 15.
Hey, who ready? Who ready?
From the gun, here's Watson. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Steelers are close to finishing off this football game. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. The clock cannot be stopped here. Defense can't do anything. So kneel it down, take it home.
No doubt about it. It's what you practice for in winning situations each and every week. Victory formation. Take a knee and go on into the locker room and celebrate.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off here by Aaron Colvin. And they'll have the football, but deep in their own territory as he's brought down at the 5. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now, that's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Here's Watson now on second down. And he's able to get this one up to the 8-yard line this time. And the Steelers signal for another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. The Texans on third down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Out of the gun, Watson. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And now this is either a fake or their coach is delusional or both here. And supreme confidence in the kicker turns to supreme failure, as that is obviously no good. And this score will stay right where it is. I guess I got to hand it to him. That was, that was ambitious.
Well, that's one way to put it.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. They come out here in the eye. Wentz to throw. Forced out to his left. And this will be caught. Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown. Got to be feeling confident they're going to get off the schneid. An old coach told me he calls this a relief win. You know, 0-3 would have been bad. You get to 1-2, you feel a lot better, don't you?
That is so true, and you feel better about yourself. You know, you think to yourself, okay, we're still in the playoff hunt. We're not out of it at 0-3. But the other part, too, it leads to doubt about your system, leads to doubt about your coaches. They don't have to worry about that now. They can move forward.
81.
Now Wentz. Flush to his right. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Pittsburgh, they're into the win column now as they move to 1-2 on the young season. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for the Texans, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Jaguars in Jacksonville.